Hey everyone, it's Kong again with another interestingly scheduled stream. This time we've got another Summit der Langrisser match. So this time is going to be the top 16 match between Aerinoa and Newbie. And I believe the players are set up and pretty much ready to go, so I'm just going to go to my friend list and check. I know I have Aerinoa on my friend list. So while they're getting ready, I'm going to go ahead and post the links. I need to get some kind of macro or something in Discord so that I can just, you know, post a command and have it post my link with stream info. Okay. That's a decent amount of spam. And just like that, no, Aerinoa is still not streaming, so I think he's adding Newbie right now so that they can actually, you know, match up. Creamy Mommy, welcome to the stream. Let's, go ahead and get this cover screen off so we can all take a nice look at my friends list while we wait for Aerinoa. Jagger, welcome to the stream. Both Dobermans are actually in the studio right now, actually lying down right behind me, so it's possible we'll get some additional feistiness in addition to just between Aerinoa and Newbie. We may have a top 128 tournament match between Donut and Applesauce here. But they're pretty calm right now, so I don't know. They might get stirred up. It depends on if anyone goes by my studio. Tell you one thing I'm not going to do while waiting for Aerinoa. I can't really blame them for taking a little bit of time to set up, because this match wasn't supposed to be scheduled for another 5 minutes anyway, so if they take 5 minutes figuring out their map or their friend list situation... It would be kind of funny if Aerinoa unfriended me so that he could friend Newbie. But I'm pretty sure they know I'm streaming this. It's a very well-organized machine. Alright, here we go. We've got some action. So, load into band pick. Aerinoa versus Newbie. Let's take a quick look at their boxes for anything interesting. Aerinoa has, I noticed, Rozalia in his box. He's got Archon as well. The Rozalia is the only other really interesting thing, and that's kind of a troll pick, knowing that Newbie is like the famous Rozalia player. So on Newbie's side, we do have Rozalia, we do have Archon, we have Leon as well. So Newbie definitely enjoying that kind of long range, long reach, single target burst action. He also has Elena in here as well, so those are kind of like the Cav triple threats. And Elwyn as well. Elwyn's obvious, though. Yeah, almost mirror. This is one of the funny things about the players knowing the other players' tendencies and boxes, is that you can kind of change it up, whether you want to do it for hilarious purposes or for actual strategic purposes. So Aerinoa getting a couple strong reachy picks here against Newbie, knowing that Newbie's not going to have a tank. Lucretia is of course great. She's a strong unit who can one-shot a lot of these. She's actually one of the units who can potentially one-shot Azusa, depending on how she's loaded out. And Aerinoa's Archon is banned, so the only chance for us to see any Archon action is on Newbie's side. Lostum's still available as well. It's not necessarily the best map for Lostum, but it's a decent one. And Aerinoa is going to be the one who gets the Rozalia out. He's leaving Rozalia up. He's basically begging to see it happen. I want to see a Rosie versus Rosie match here. Harry's getting his Azusa up as well. No Lucretia available on Newbie's side. Alright, we are getting a Rosie versus Rosie match. And we'll see what Newbie's left with. Any of these, IBC's probably the least threatening remaining unit for him here. I mean, she can buff T-Jess and Epsilon. But Elwyn is another super long-range follow-up. D-Heart, another good follow-up. Yeah, D-Heart probably the best pick here for Aerinoa. Not sure how shaky this Lostum is or how good it is. But D-Heart has the reach, and he has that nice little stun. Okay, Newbie is going to go with the IBC. When you're given the choice between that and Archon, I suppose. This is one of the interesting things about Archon in a box like this. Is, even though there's no Hilda here, and he can theoretically pull, I mean, there's the threat that she could go in Endurance formation, which in this matchup, not super likely, but it is possible. So that would block his pull. But it's just interesting to see. You have these players who get Archon available 5th pick, and they still don't take him. I took Archon out of my box because I was running into a similar situation, where I would either have Archon left because the enemy was immune to displacement, or I would have Archon left and end up just not picking him. So he didn't bring enough value for me to keep in the box, unfortunately. I'll still play him sometimes in, like, scrims just for fun. Jacob? I'm going to pronounce your name Jacob. Hey Kong, good stream. I have a question. What's the main reason of Apex boxes with only one tank Hilda and one healer? Rosen most of the time. How's it supposed to work? Well, if you've been watching some of these tournament matches on my stream, you get a decent example of how it's supposed to work. Most of these boxes are called trade boxes, or they'll be called balanced trade boxes or trade rush boxes. And the idea is basically to have enough DPS that and enough range that you basically force the opponent into a position where you can either run in and pick one of them off, or they're squeezed into your range and they have to initiate on your team. And the idea is that you have enough DPS, enough strong units who can one-shot their units, and a good enough matchup against them that you can basically trade 1 for 1 until you get beneficial trades and you come out on top with 1 or 2 units left. So Hilda's in those boxes specifically to counter certain units. If you're running into a strong single target team and you know you want to pick a tank and gather up around a tank, or if she can do other things for you, like if the enemy has a lot of magical threats and you want to be able to make sure you can guard magic, or foil some weird displacement plans. Like if you run into a team like what Luxid was running yesterday with 4 push units, and Rose and Seal, obviously, I think Rose and Seal and Hilda are the members of their class who basically bring the most utility, so it's just good to have them in your box in case you do need them. So we've got an AoE Lucretia here on Aerinoa's side. Zeusa did bring the horses. Horses on Florentia too, for that matter. And we have Accelerated Aid on the Epsilon. Everything else looking fairly standard. So the other feature you'll often see in these kinds of trade boxes is that the players aren't as worried about getting every single member of their team on faction with a faction buff. You have things like Mass Attack. Alright, we're going to see Newbie's favorite move. It's a turn 1 Rosie. So who's her target? Rosie procs Defender of the Faith. Oh, still dead though. Okay, now, what we've got here is we have some Watham stacks. We also have Rosie up front and center as a potential T-Just teleport beacon. So Newbie has some follow-up to this initial spike. Alright, Aerinoa wants to take that Rozalia off the table, so that's a perfect example of an opening trade. Newbie knew his Rozalia was going to die. He figured it was worth it to get the enemy's Rozalia off the table. So he sent Rozalia in, traded Rosie for Rosie. Okay, Jess and Epsilon are now buffed up. Lots of mobility, ready to go. So many units reaching spawn in turn 1. Yeah, it's dangerous. You either... I mean, I think we're seeing some people have some success weathering the storm with the new Heimdall stats and kind of turtling up, which I also don't like, so it's not like that solves that problem of the early turn rush meta. So we definitely do have the potential for this Watham being sent in. Yeah, here he goes now, so he can splash some damage on the Azusa here with his AoE. No, that doesn't reach. So he has no one to teleport to. He's just going to use... Oh, this is how it's going to work. He's just going to use his act again with his Spirit Boots to run up to her and hit her. And now T-Jess can teleport in. So he doesn't kill this Azusa. So Newbie's only going to get one more kill this turn, not the two that he was possibly hoping for. She can teleport in and kill whoever she wants, other than Lucretia, who will revive. So here she comes with that. And who's her target here? Is it going to be D-Heart or IBC? Both are good selections. I'm going to take D-Heart off the table just because he has... Oh, he actually survives that. Very interesting. I wonder if this is a Tiamat's Blessing D-Heart. I guess it's worth noting that this T-Jess isn't fully stacked up. I don't think she had an attack buff there. So if that was a not fully stacked up T-Jess without an attack buff on a Tiamat's Blessing D-Heart, that is an interesting turn. So Aerinoa here with turn priority is going to get to choose what he wants to do about these two units in his backyard. Ham's skill is down. I mean, T-Jess' skill is down too. I guess you take a shot at the Ham. Now you choose who to stun. Do you want to stun this injured no-skill Ham, or do you want to stun this full health no-skill T-Jess? Yeah, opt for the T-Jess. Now, Newbie's in an interesting, kind of sticky situation here. Your T-Jess is down. You've got this weak Ham. That's a weird play. Did he teleport there just to get the extra healing and sit on the forest, or did he teleport thinking he was going to get his act again? Because with the forest and healing, you're not going to survive 3 of Aerinoa's units. I think he didn't realize he was too far away from his act again. So IBC and Epsilon are just going to basically try to rush into the action and catch up with the rest of Newbie's dangling team up here. But by the time they get up here, he's going to be behind. So this Ham is toast, and the T-Jess is basically also toast. She's out of commission for this turn, but yeah, Aerinoa has lots of time to take advantage of to get her off the table entirely. Epsilon going to want to rush into the action too, but he has to be careful because this Lucretia is an AoE Lucretia, so she can easily bust the shield off him in preparation for one of Aerinoa's follow-up units. Newbie is going to have turn priority here, though, it looks like. So he has options. He can either straight up kill this, figuring his Watham is probably toast. Basically exchange those, or try to run away, but I mean, if he runs away, I think he can still get AoE'd by Lucretia. Well, he'll have the healing from the dogs and from the sword, too. We'll have to see what Newbie decides. If he wants to be conservative and try to save Watham. Nah, he figures it's not worth it. Just get that Azusa off the table. Make Aerinoa do something about this. Doesn't even bother to park on a forest. He knows he's toast. When Watham goes down, IBC also loses the ability to cast her talent formations, unless she can use the sword to form. I mean, she can, but the thing is, Newbie will have to get into position with this static sword while it's still alive to cast a new formation. Just going with a single target auto attack kill on Watham there while keeping distance. She also breezes as well, just for good measure. And now we have another kind of shortened version of the standoff at the start of a match. We've got Newbie over here with his fully stacked up and shielded Epsilon, and an IBC, and a dead sword. And on Aerinoa's side, we have an okay Lucretia with Vance still alive. And we've got D-Heart, whose skills are not up yet, but coming. And IBC as well. How are we doing over on the YouTube side, folks? Aerinoa knows he wants to try to deal with this IBC while ensuring he stays out of range of the Epsilon. Although, honestly, having 3 units alive will make it difficult for Epsilon to be able to solo the rest of the game. She can remove his shield as well, in addition to just having it popped by an AoE or whatnot. Alright, so she's just going to take the IBC. Now we're looking at a 3.5 on 1 here. At least he is getting kind of a attack command boost from the sword as well, since he's dark. Okay, he's going to opt to take out the IBC. He's still shielded. That's a good move. She used the one with the most damaging single burst potential here. D-Heart's able to pop the shield. And now Newbie has to make something work. He's Still lives, but he's hurt. See, that sword still being alive was a good example of it screwing up his turn priority a little bit. It would have been Newbie's turn there, but he had to end turn with the sword, and then Aerinoa got to go next. Could have been dangerous if that Lucretia had a skill up ready to kill him. Alright, he's going to get this kill on Vance. No shield yet from that. D-Heart doesn't quite have his 3C yet. So Aerinoa is just going to get ready for next turn. Newbie, are you going to be able to kill this Lucretia and get your shield back? Your faction buff will go down this turn, but you still have it for now. With a melee attack. Yeah, that's right. Well, that's the thing. If he doesn't kill... I mean, if he kills, he gets stunned in fog. If he doesn't kill, he's getting comboed by this 3C and Lucretia. And I don't think he's going to be able to kill D-Heart from full. After what we witnessed... I mean, I guess it's the difference between a 4-stacked physical Epsilon. Alright, so even running back that far, he's still vulnerable to a 1-2 combo. She can move up and Heaven's Sanction. I guess he doesn't even need that primer. This thing's already hurt. It doesn't have a shield. So he's going to get 3 seed. That's it. Alright, Newbie needs this sword to carry the rest of the game now. He needs Aerinoa's units to fog themselves before they can... Oh, no. He doesn't think that's going to happen. So that's the end of game 1. Yeah, I mean, I guess the only theoretical move there would have been trying to kill D-Heart, but I don't think he kills that D-Heart. So, it was a rough situation either way. I was hoping for some epic highlight reel sword plays at the end, but Newbie didn't want to put that effort in. Alright, so we're loading into game 2. We're currently 1-0 for Aerinoa. Newbie in the player 1 position here. You're right, B-Guy. I think it was more worth trying than just running away. Yeah, the D-Heart surviving the T-Jess ended up being the play of the match, didn't it? We'll have to go back and hound Aerinoa for his D-Heart build. So we are going to see if either player is going to switch up their box. Okay, Newbie ditching the Lostum, bringing up Wataru. Both players first banning Hilda. So to Jacob, again, that's another a good potential use of having that one Hilda in the box, is she can soak up an early ban, and then you get to play all the DPS units you want. Aerie taking his time to think about this matchup now. Newbie's going to have that turn 1 ham potential. Even though he sent one of his hams to the freezer, he's still got another fresh ham. Okay, and Aerinoa going for it, going with the early ban Wataru. He's sticking with his plan, getting IBC out first. And Newbie not letting us down. Early pick that Rozalia again. He did get the appropriate use out of her in the last game. Jenny the Pooh is here for that McCrispy action. I mean, I obviously don't see ads on my own channel, but every time you mention McCrispy, I feel like I need to go get one. Okay, Newbie is still getting his core 1-2-3 punch here. He's going to have that Rozalia to go in on turn 1. He's going to have his teleporting Waitham, possibly not misplay with it this time, and then he's going to have his teleporting T-Jess ready for follow-up as well. The question is whether he can pick units that he can finish off this time. So Aerinoa going with Sissy White. Gives him a tank option. Also gives him an act again in the player 2 position, which is very strong. Alright, and we are going to get to see an Archon as well. Archon is nice in these kind of one-punch trade box scenarios because at least he does have a revive as well, so it's difficult to just instantly take him off the table. And we're getting... Last game we had a Rozalia versus Rozalia mirror match. This game we're getting an Archon versus Archon match. So it's funny, I was just talking about in the last game how much I like to see these kind of less common characters in play just because it's interesting. Especially in a tournament scenario, where it's other people who have everything on the line. Let's see how these really good, talented players use these units that we don't see too often. So the players are going to be setting up their skills, setting up their troops, and setting their positions. Aerinoa going to have to be carefully considering where he's going to be positioning these units, knowing that Waitham and Rozalia can probably reach right away. Although that said, Lucretia does have 1 revive, Archon does have 1 revive. So if those are the only units that Newbie can reach, he could not frontline, but he can put those in his front ranks and reduce the number of units that Newbie can take out right away. True Hero, welcome to the stream. Lord Rupert placing bets in the chats already, thinking that Archon is going to come out on top over Archon. I don't know, I think I give Archon the edge in this matchup. Yeah, I think some T-Jesses briefly switched off Twilight Star for a while there. I'm seeing it a lot more commonly now, but I wonder if people are starting to put Laws of Creation on her now that that just came out. It's like a fancy new toy, so it may be that they see the chance to put the new accessory on their T-Jess and go with it. So we do have the Air Slash Garg set up for maximum turn 1 trollage. We're getting accelerated aid here as well on the Rosie. Archon is frontlined. He can revive. That gives Aerie the opportunity to get his little miniature phalanx out. So if you need to set up at all as player 1, and the opponent has Sissy, that's their chance, that's their one window of opportunity. Kind of similar to if you're a player 1 Kruger versus a player 2 Rosenseal. If you do anything to set up before using his 3C, then Rosenseal can just throw stacks up and become immune to it. It's really turn 1, action 1 tech. Now that's not to say Newbie can't still try his combo, but he is going to have to do something about that Lancer first. These are both physical units. Alright, get setting up with a nice turn 1 aggressive Archon here. Making Aerinoa think. What's his counter to this going to be? He likes the AoE Lucretia again. I don't think Aerinoa is going to be able to kill 2 lives off this Archon before it does something. Even just using Archon to displace this or kill it still opens the door to these two. That's true, she could put the line buff on the front line here and that shuts down Newbie. Or at least that plan. That's a good play, but I think Aerinoa is gonna be hesitant to try that just because then that dooms him to 3 turns of sitting back here in the back lines. With no mobility boost on his T-Jess or his Archon. Then Newbie can just slightly move up and get ready to launch his combo at the start of turn 2 instead. So, yeah, it's a tricky situation for Aerinoa. What's the teleport Lancer play? That's what he's opting for, anyway. I don't see how that is different than what we had before. Archon can still pull or kill this. Tidal Surge, pull this Lancer away, and then you got 6 move. IBC, probably the best target for him as long as he can secure the kill. No Tenyo proc, so it doesn't pull him out of water, so that IBC is dead. And now we have an watered Archon right in the middle of your base, still with his revive up. Your IBC's gone. IBC hasn't had a chance to cast the formation yet. So, yeah, I guess, I mean, looking back, IBC using that turn to use the defensive formation on the front line would have been the better action. Because even though they would have been stuck back here with IBC's talent on cooldown, at least she'd still be alive. Alright, so that gives Newbie the opportunity to follow up now. I mean, T-Jess has already used her action, so she can't teleport into the action this turn. So there's the first kill on Archon. Vance valiantly trying to clean up the second kill, but with his in-water revive at 60%, that's not going to happen. Alright, he's gonna go in with Rozalia first. Yeah, we do have... This is a Watham teleport target. I guess the question is, now you're at an all-you-can-eat buffet here, so who's Newbie choosing to eat? Archon's the only remaining threat with an action, but he also has a revive, so he's gonna be getting the kill on someone regardless. So do you kill Archon knowing he's going to be able to kill your Archon or your Rozalia here? Or do you just try for someone else who's a more long-term threat? Kill the T-Jess. Okay, we are going for the Archon. He's not in water yet, so his revive only pops him up to 10%. I guess, yeah, maybe at 10% he doesn't secure a kill on one of these units. At least without getting counter-killed. Watham is definitely killing whoever he wants this turn anyway. Alright, using the pull in the act again to get as much healing as possible before he chooses his target. Just to give him a better chance of killing it. Yeah, Johnny, you're right. Hard to win Rush versus Rush as player 2. Even with, like, Sissy and the Lancer, you definitely see the limitation of this as your P2 tank when you're already on your heels. Okay, deciding to be patient with the Watham. He's gonna use his jump this turn. Although it is giving Aerinoa the chance to clear Watham's stacks. So he doesn't want to teleport to this, because it'll fog him. He can still teleport to this, and then this is nearby enough that he'll get his act again. Oh, he didn't bring teleport at all! That's the problem! He left Crush on instead of teleport! He was resetting his skills for the turn 1 action. He brought Air Slash, but then he forgot to move Crush off. Oh, Jagger, you need to be adjacent to one of the talent debuffed enemies, but you can be within 2 or 3 of the sword. There's one that you're allowed to be a couple spaces away from. It must be the sword. Yeah, I mean, I guess if we had the jump on Watham, he would have taken that opportunity to go in. Because he could have jumped directly adjacent to Vance before this turn started, and the fog turned that into a problem. Now he can just do it the old-fashioned way. Put your sword down, get your spirit boots, get your act again, and then kill who you want. And he's going for the golem. Yeah, Johnny, I don't know. I think the crush was a mistake. I'd be surprised if... Maybe he ran out of time while setting up. I'd be surprised if he left that crush on purpose. Okay, we have another interesting situation. I mean, Watham is kind of stranded in here all alone. Lucretia currently only has AoE left, so she's stuck normal attacking him without support from Vance, if that's what she wants to do. Newbie still does have T-Jess back here, but her teleport is already... it's still on cooldown from that turn 1 play. So Aerinoa is able to just combo the Watham down. So again, we're in another situation where Newbie's basically outnumbered Epsilon is going to have to carry against multiple units. Archon's Revive is already down. And T-Jess's one single target skill is on cooldown. So the shield can be popped, but Aerinoa needs some follow-up to be able to then kill Epsilon. Okay, Lucretia down. Alright, that does make things easier for Newbie. Aerie can still combo the shield off Epsilon. He does have Act again available on Sissy White. So it's even possible just to punch the shield with T-Jess, give her the Act again, and then have her finish him off. But the problem for her is she doesn't have skill up right now. Alright, Epsilon smartly sacrificing his shield there to take out the main threat to his life in the future. I don't think this Archon's going to be able to kill this Epsilon now. Even if all things were, I guess he's going to be full from the Act again, but going into a fully stacked zombies Epsilon at melee range is a tall order. It's a tall order. He does break 100% with pull. These are magic damage troops, so potentially the magical spirit figurines might take a beating here. Yeah, he does kill him. Archon with that big heal. Now T just needs to be able to kill him and then survive whatever Sissy throws at her. Rip. Okay, that's gonna be game for sure. Yeah, I think Sissy would have been able to solo it. Didn't come into play because with no skills she wasn't able to kill that Archon. And it's looking like it's going to be... The Sword's not even going to be able to carry this game because he was going to get fogged next turn. So it's going to be a 2-0 Aerinoa match. Very interesting. Newbie got to play his game. There were a few misplays there in game 1, a couple little missteps. But it was very interesting to see Newbie on player 1's side with his nice comfy rush box. Aerinoa kind of backed into the corner there and then pulled it out. So, excellent game to both players. Newbie, congratulations on making it into the top 16 this season. And Aerinoa, congrats on advancing to the top 8 for the Summit der Langrisser. Yeah, there were definitely a few interesting plays leading up to that final exchange, weren't there? I think we can pinpoint a couple moments in both games where it could have tilted. Obviously, if T-Jess was able to secure that first kill on the D-Heart in game 1, then it's a totally different game. So kudos to Aerinoa for building his D-Heart specifically for that. Between that and Hale basically promoting the bulky D-Heart build, the bulk heart build in main chord, we may start seeing some more bulky D-Hearts in global. And then obviously in game 2, if Watham has his teleport and Shadow Step instead of Crush, then on turn 1 he can easily just teleport over to Vance and then kill whoever he wants. He could have taken the Archon, he could have taken Sissy at that point. But the game played out how it played out, so here we have it, Aerinoa advancing. Thanks to everyone for stopping by the stream and watching. Always love broadcasting these kind of interesting, quick little PvP matches between players who are better than me, because I use it as an opportunity to learn some new stuff as well. So hopefully everyone got to take something from that. Anyway, it's pretty much time for me to start getting ready for some Apex matches of my own, so I am going to take off, feed some Dobermans, feed some myself, and then I'll catch you in the next one. Happy Langrissing, everyone.